fuck?
Massacre. Massacre. Massacre.
Never go to a stranger's
Massacre.
house and never go out.
Massacre.
save the youth of America.
We just want you to do what we believe. We just want you to do what we believe. We just want you to do what we believe.
Well, hello everyone. I'm starting early because I fucking feel like it, and what the hell? Why the hell not? Everyone else will be on the air in about another 20 minutes. So, hi. How are we all tonight? Break anything? Set anything on fire? Nah, me neither. No, I've spent pretty much the afternoon, aside from shoveling gravel. Hey, how you doing, Kat?
Hey, I heard you were starting early. So.
Yeah, I'm starting early. I uncapped the sake, did 40 shots. I've started early. No, I don't have any.
You didn't share any?
No, I did. I don't share my sake with you anymore.
Bastard. Well,
Take a
there,
seat.
There. Yeah, you were saying that you didn't break anything. Well, now you did. You broke my heart.
Really?
Yes.
Well, what if I squeeze your boobs together?
Well, if I get to grab your nuts.
What's stopping you?
Well, come here. There you go.
So, did you know that Undead Ramen here?
Hey, Roman.
On Discord, her screen name is Titzilla.
I did not know that.
That's a quite likable name, don't you agree?
I totally agree. You know, I totally see her as being like the King Ghidorah of boobs.
Yeah, I am all for kaiju tits.
Yes.
Kaiju-sized tits are wonderful.
Yes, they are. Yo, Ramen, we love your tits. Just as long as they don't act like your hair.
I don't know. That would be kind of impressive.
I don't know. You've seen Demon City Shinjuku.
Oh, yeah. So, no, I've spent the day primarily going over Boobs of Steel, no less, editing the chapters, and
We're apparently giving her ideas.
oh, well, good. Karate boobs. Yeah.
Karate chop.
Is that a movie? Really?
I don't know, but I've seen there is this one woman who can smash beer cans with her tits.
Oh, yeah, she's impressive. But, yeah, I've come to the determination that I'm probably going to publish the introduction and chapters 1 through 4 as part 1. They all go together.
Excellent.
And that should come out to about 50,000 words.
That's a good amount.
So regardless of whether or not Bounding into Comics picks up it as an article series, I'm making it available soon. And since I'll be doing installments, I'll need another cover from JC for the individual installments. Okay. So what else?
Trenton said he's been reading your latest. I finished your latest stuff and will be writing a review soon. Thank you, Trenton.
Oh, excellent. Do you mean the chapters for Boobs of Steel or Siege Engine?
I don't know.
Because progress on that's been coming along quite well too.
I
But
do not know what he means.
I am very pleased that soon people will actually start seeing this stuff.
You gotta do it, proper, like Dr. Doom, where you like clench your fist.
Soon, yeah. Well, the finished version will have sidebars and illustrations and all this other stuff. It just won't be raw text.
Yeah. Oh, butt steak deal and ridiculum.
Well,
excellent.
I didn't write Butt Steak Deal. That was Richard Steele.
Yeah, that was Richard.
I'm just not as cool as him. I have not lived the life that Richard has.
He is definitely up there with the Dos Equis guy. Only I guess it's triple X, huh?
Okay, I'm looking to karate boobs.
Karate boobs.
So what have you done today?
I've recovered. Fuck.
That's
Conventions kick my ass. I did not need to see some of that.
Well, I punched karate boobs into Duck Duck Go, and I didn't get a movie, so.
No.
Well, there's Kung Pao, Enter the Fist.
Oh, that was a great. But she only had one boob, and she didn't karate chop with it.
Anyway, as we wait for Janelle and hopefully Raltz to show up, Raltz hasn't been feeling good, unfortunately.
Poor guy. Yeah, I've been recovering from the con, and I went to Home Depot, and I went to Michael's.
Do you want to talk about the convention at all?
Sure, I can talk about the con.
You've had quite a few stories about it.
Every convention is different, and I'm still feeling out fan fusion. From what I've heard, fan fusion's still figuring itself out too. That the pandemic really screwed things over, and so they've been trying to basically rebuild themselves and figure out what it is exactly they are, which is fine. I'm gonna have to say Friday was probably one of the most fun times I've ever had at a convention. It's been a long time since I've been in an environment where everyone was there to enjoy the fandom. They were playing different theme songs and different geeky songs over the loudspeakers throughout the entire convention. And it was great getting into a discussion with some of the other patrons on exactly which doctor the particular Doctor Who theme was that was playing over the PSA. Was it Tom Baker? Was it like Tennant? Which exactly it was, because you lose parts over the crowd, so we're all trying to figure out which version it was that they were playing. And it was also really great when they started playing The Saga Begins by Weird Al, and about half the people on the floor, at least where our booth was, all start breaking into it together, in unison. I mean, like that was just a wonderful feeling. Saturday, not so much.
Yeah, you said Saturday.
Yeah.
They were not a reading crowd.
Yeah, Friday was definitely the geek crowd, the reading crowd, and you had people who were definitely there to find new stuff. Saturday was mostly, I'm gonna say, a younger crowd, and that's fine. There's nothing against them, but they were there mostly for getting tchotchkes of their favorite animes and not trying out new stuff
or reading.
Yeah, they were getting artists doing their own drawings of known IPs, and not really much in the experimentation, at least not in the area that our table was in.
So Ramen wants to stress that her boobs are definitely not like Kung Pao.
No.
And I didn't think so. I would imagine that it's it's like two dirigibles. That's what I imagine.
I wouldn't say dirigibles. I mean, they're not airbags. I would say that hers are mighty and formidable, like two Mount Fujis.
Hard
to distinguish Doctor Who themes, just like the hidden TARDIS sound during the 2012 Olympic opening. I'm gonna have to check that out. I didn't know that they did that.
What? We're just giving your boobs compliments. Is that a problem, Ramen? Seriously.
No, I will say, purely because Ishii and I have been binge watching Tom Baker the last couple of days, because Leela fits right into Boobs of Steel. So,
well, she isn't really a Boobs of Steel character. I'd say she has a large B cup or a small C cup, but she fits the wild woman Amazonian archetype.
Yeah. And so we've been, watching it for research and just because it's good stuff. And I figured, you know what, Saturday, I'm going to wear my TARDIS key to the show. Because, yes, I have a TARDIS key. I've had this TARDIS key since I was 9 years old. It was one of the first things that I purchased with my own money. Ooh.
Really?
Yes. I saved up, and I had my dad, because I didn't want to ask my mom. I had my dad call it in and order it for me on his credit card, and then I paid him back. but and anybody who was wearing anything Doctor Who related, I would show them it. I wouldn't tell them what it was though, because I wanted to do a litmus test, and I'm kind of sad because
Well, let's get the image on screen. I'm trying to find a good one.
yeah, that's mine. Yeah, that's mine.
Okay, let me put this on screen. Maybe I can say something offensive and get you feisty.
Okay.
I don't know. That's my effort right now.
Well, I could get some of Janelle's fighting juice.
Here you go.
There you go. So, that's what the TARDIS key looks like. And I didn't tell anybody what it was other than it's Doctor Who related. I would say about 60 to 75% of the guys knew what it was. Absolutely zero of the females who had Doctor Who paraphernalia knew what it was. That made me sad.
Well, look what's passing for a TARDIS key on Etsy now.
Oh dear God.
Let me do a share here.
Christ, I could do something better than that with a glue gun.
This is what's passing for TARDIS keys on Etsy.
It's not a fucking no. And it's they're placed on the Art of War. What the fuck? The hell, people.
I'm so out of touch with the series now. I don't really even know or care.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So you said that the new series ditched the TARDIS key, and it's just this stupid thing now.
Yeah, somebody just has a regular key. I got the impression they started switching it out every Doctor. And it's like, okay, well, if you need to make that merchandise somehow.
Well, yeah, that's exactly why. That's why Sailor Moon got new powers every season.
Yeah.
Because she had to have new merchandise every season. Okay, so yeah.
So, ooh. My phone clicked. Let's see who's clicking at me. Nobody important. Okay.
So
yeah. No, I just it just made me sad.
Yeah, this is what's passing for a TARDIS key now.
Yeah. No, it just made me sad because I had this one woman who she had come back to the table a couple of times, and she purchased some books, which was really nice of her. And I said, "Oh, last time you were here, I didn't notice you had a TARDIS," because she had a little TARDIS pendant on her around her neck. And she goes, "Yeah, I just got it. I saw this TARDIS." I'm like, "Yeah, I have to have it." I go, "Yeah, I know what you mean." And I pull up my my necklace. This is actually what started the litmus test. And I go, that's why I decided I was going to wear, this while I was here. And I hold up my key. And I didn't tell her what it was. I just said why I decided to wear this. And she looked at it and she gave me that blank stare like I suddenly had grown a third head. And she goes, "Yeah, that's neat." And then things got awkward. And it's like, "You don't know what this is." Oh no. She was nice though. It was awkward. And that's why I decided to do the litmus test every time someone came by with Doctor Who stuff.
And you were passing time.
And I was passing time. Again, Friday was great. Friday left me pumped. It's like, yeah, this is what these shows are about. At the very least, just the everybody enjoying the geekiness together. This is what it was about. Saturday, again, that was not there Saturday, and I had 4.5 hours of nothing. It had been since San Diego Comic-Con since I had that much downtime on the show floor. And it was, drive-bys. Some people came by. They'd look at books. I didn't even get the polite "I'll be back," and they never will.
Well, that sucks.
It's like, oh God. And that's fine if people aren't interested. It was just the fact that Saturday definitely was not. It wasn't a geek show Saturday.
Well, again, it was probably wise that I did not come along.
Yes, it was very wise that you were not there. It was very, very wise you were not there.
I probably at some point would have started throwing things and yelling at people, as I usually do. What?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, well, usually this is around the time people start showing up. Should we text Raltz and Janelle? Or I know Raltz is sick, so.
Did you email them?
Of course I fucking emailed them.
No, I mean, did they respond?
They never do.
They
just show up.
They just show up. Okay.
But, yeah. Oh, here we go. Raltz has shown up. Hey!
Hey, how you feeling?
It's a little. I thought it wasn't starting for another hour.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What time is it there?
10 o'clock. It's 5 to 10.
Oh, shit. So I got the time zone wrong. I said 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
So that's me.
Oh, shit. You've been on for half an hour. That could be why Janelle's not here either.
You want to text her just to see? But, yeah, we're just kind of here making Ramen yell at us because we complimented her boobs.
She just now messaged me and said, hey, they're streaming. I'm like, it can't be. It's only 5 to 10.
Yeah, we started early this evening.
Figures the one time I'm not in here for like half an hour.
So what have you been up to, man?
Tired.
Yeah, just tired.
It's been weak. But hey, everybody has their issues, so tough shit on me. Right?
Are you feeling better?
Yeah, I am. It was just I don't know how else to say it. It was just But now I'm feeling better.
Just
Yeah. We all hit that now and then.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we were talking about San Diego Fan Fusion, which was at San Diego, Arizona, Phoenix, whatever. I didn't go.
That sounds like
we're talking about the convention that I tabled at over the weekend.
That sounds like a special kind of hell.
Apparently Saturday was.
No, Friday was great. Friday was excellent. Yeah, Saturday, yeah. Well, it's telling when J. Michael Straczynski had nobody lining up to say hi.
Okay,
Well, I'd kick him.
Yeah. Well, I know you would, but he's got a lot of fans.
I have no idea who that even is.
J. Michael Straczynski?
Yeah. He created Babylon 5.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And he was the head writer of Murder, She Wrote, and wrote for the Real Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so he actually has done things.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that's a change.
Yes, he has done things. And the only reason why I knew that there was nobody there, that you could just walk right up to him and say hi, is because one of the gentlemen who was tabling next to me, when he heard that J. Michael was going to be there, totally stimpy screened and fangirled out in the best way possible, and grabbed one of his books, and he said, "This book is inspired by one of his Ghostbusters scripts," and immediately hauled ass down there to go talk to him. And he said that he was able to just walk right up and that nobody was there. It was a ghost town. I'm kind of shocked.
So I've been reading this book on British Apache H-64 Apache pilots during the Afghanistan war. And there was a story in there I want to run past you to see if you pick up on it sooner than they did. Now,
okay.
Oh, he told me this
they were on
morning.
patrol, and they were scoping out some Taliban with the FLIR, forward-looking infrared, right?
Yeah.
And the Brits are like looking at these 4 Taliban, and they get together, and they're huddled together in this, behind this berm, and they've all got their rifles up, and they're all backs pushed against each other, and they're like, "What the fuck are these guys doing? What the fuck?" And then about 5 minutes passes, and the 4 guys bolt. They just leave, and they leave behind. They each leave a heat signature behind that looks about the size of a shoe.
They were taking a shit.
And the Brits didn't know this until they got back to base, reported it, and their intelligence officers said, "Congratulations, gentlemen, you caught them taking a shit."
Yeah. Yeah, I had a feeling when they were all huddled down, facing away from each other.
Yeah, and the pilots didn't figure this out. What?
Just, it's just one of them things.
I'm guessing it's one of those things where they're just so in the moment, they're not thinking the logical reason for what's happening.
Pretty much. It's like they've got to be up to some crafty mass, right? They're Bronze Age goat herders. It's not difficult.
Yeah. My dad told a story of the Reaper drone catching footage of a jihadi coming out of one of the caves, and he's on his cell phone, and by his gesturing and everything, they could tell that he was probably arguing with his wife somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like, well, do we light him up? It's like, nah,
He's got problems already.
He's already miserable. Let him just sit there and suffer.
Yeah, let this ride for a little bit.
Yeah. He's looking around hoping we show up and fucking drone strike him.
Yep.
Oh, look, she's bitchy. Intercept the call so we can listen in. That's when you have fun.
He didn't mention that, but I wouldn't doubt it.
Intercept the call. Let's see what she's bitching about.
Why, Mohammed? Why? The goat fell over dead today.
Yeah.
You are no good.
It's like, fuck. I always assume, I learned a long time ago, always assume that the answer will be the dumbest shit possible. And the more somebody tries to convince you it's some super secret thing or some super amazing thing, it's just going to be dumb. It's a good rule for life.
Yeah.
Well, did you see the Iraqis do anything stupid while you were over there that's worth mentioning? I actually don't think you've told any Iraqi stories.
Stupid, no, but I saw a guy sit by the side of the road for 2 days with a sign that said, "We'll surrender for food." And people would throw fucking he had a box. And he had a box with his rifle next to it. And people would fucking huck water bottles into the box and MREs into the box as we drove by.
Wow.
He just decided he wasn't going to play.
Okay.
That's most of my interactions with him were at like 50 meters or further. I mean,
then they blew up.
Nothing cool like my brother. Fucking, he was watching. It was my brother. He was there in Iraq for the invasion, and he said that I was like 2 weeks after the initial invasion, and him and his buddies are sitting there in the Bradley, and they're like, "What the fuck is that guy doing?" And he's all sneaky, and they've been parked. He's being all sneaky, and he meets this guy with a covered truck, and a couple other guys show up, and apparently it was fuck the donkey day. I was like, "You're shitting me. There's no way this is true." He's like, "Nope. Happens all the time."
They rolled up on dudes fucking a donkey.
No. Yeah, well, no, they were sitting there, and the guy showed up with a covered truck with a donkey in it, and like 4 or 5 dudes showed up to fuck the donkey while they sat there and just stared.
Holy crap!
And they called it in. They're like, "Can we, do something?" Like, do they have guns? No, they just have a donkey.
We feel bad for the donkey. Can we kill them?
And they're like, "Nope, just sit there." I always said it was fucking dumb. He had the worst fucking time.
What's wrong with your hand, dude? Why the donkey?
You know, you never know. I mean, now mine were all. Now the Saudis are the ones. I only interacted with the Iraqis themselves for like 90 odd hours, because the ground war was fast. The Saudis are the ones I had to deal with, and holy fuck, a combination of 70 IQ and huge arrogance.
Oh,
Who's that on the back porch?
Oh, the Mad
Hey, guys.
Ginger Kronk has
Oh.
joined us.
Yes.
Hey,
hey, how you doing?
pretty good. How about you? I'm on the back porch having a cigarette, even though I shouldn't.
Makes it
You
more
know, for the
fun.
longest time, I thought Kronk was a reference to the cartoon character Kronk, and then he said, no, that's really his last name.
Yeah,
Yeah, you know, I thought it
Apparently-
was too.
apparently it's Gaelic for hill, so maybe I'm related to Trump since that means hill too.
It makes sense then why they named the guy in the Emperor's New Groove Kronk. Because the
Yeah, I
fucker was
think
as
that-
big as a hill.
I think that's KRONK, but yeah.
Yeah.
Big fucker. Anyway, how's everybody going? How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
Sorry,
It's
little.
an okay night.
So, did you hear the story about the donkey show, Kronk?
Yeah, I just caught that. I was coming
Yeah.
over.
Well, not nearly as entertaining as the donkey show
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
the guy standing by the side of the road taking, what was it?
We'll
We'll surrender for food.
We'll surrender for
MREs.
food. Yeah. And we just huck him. He was all, and when people started throwing them at him, he had
Yeah.
a box and he'd catch them. And it was kind of like, you roar by him and throw him at him and he'd fucking catch him with a big grin. I guess he figured it was better getting his ass shot off.
He might have had a
Smart
point.
man.
So in high school,
Yeah.
this was the heyday of getting those various mascots to hold a sign out in front of someplace
Oh yeah.
to try and get you to come in and whatever. And there was this real estate company, and I guess the only costume they could get was a Ninja Turtle.
Oh, Jesus.
And this is in Moreno Valley, which is hot as hell
Yeah.
for anyone who knows anything
Oh.
about Southern California.
I haven't been there,
that.
but oh my gosh.
So this poor son of a bitch, would have to stand out on the corner of a major thoroughfare dressed as a Ninja Turtle, in the mascot outfit, waving a sign about something about real estate.
Mm-hmm.
And once we went by, and the dude had the top of his helmet or the head off,
Yeah.
and he had it in his lap, and he was jerking off.
I forgot.
That's why you never hire tweakers.
And you never wear one of those suits after somebody else.
No.
No. Okay.
Oh.
So yeah, we see this guy jerking off. And for the next year, every time we saw that Ninja Turtle out there, we'd all hang out the window and do jerking off motions and spank the monkey, dude, choke the chicken. And then it occurred to us, that dude probably isn't in that suit.
Might be someone else.
That
He's probably like-
long lost the job.
They were probably like, what the fuck is with
Why-
these idiots?
Why do people keep doing that? Shine the shell, dude.
Yeah, every time we drove by, we'd all hang out the window and start doing a jerk off motion. They'd just, spank it, monkey.
Oh, Jesus.
How'd you know?
Hi.
Hey, Janelle.
Hey, Janelle.
Hello.
You
You sound
okay?
tired.
No, I had a bad day. So I'm a little subdued.
I'm with you. I got a good one. I didn't see it personally. A friend of mine with military intelligence showed it to me after the war. And a fucking group of like 5 Apaches caught an infantry unit in the open. Okay, that means you're fucked.
Yeah.
Because they had authorization and they all open up with the guns and it's just sand puffs up. Right? And they're like, yeah, I think we got him. Because like, you watched them go through like 200 rounds. And as the dust settles, this dude comes flying out of the dust and he is hauling ass the other way. And this one pilot goes, he's got a bad Texas accent. He's like, I got him. Like 30 rounds, more dust. Dude comes out the other side, just still hauling ass, and he throws his rifle. And I was like, what the fuck's wrong with my gun? More fucking dust. Dude comes out, now he's missing a shoe. He's missing his shoe, and he's just running. And somebody goes, give him one more. If he lives, he's probably going to run all the way home. And he comes out the other side without shoes and just hauling ass. They were like, yeah, he ain't stopping.
That's like rolling a crit like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah,
in D&D.
yeah. I mean, it was just like, how the fuck? Because those rounds, how the fuck is somebody that lucky? Because it's not like he was at the edge of the cloud. You could tell he was in the middle of it. It's like, how did he not get hit?
Knowing what those shells do, those 30 millimeter?
30 millimeter APDSDU.
Yeah, then they fragment like all over the place.
Yeah, dude should have been dead. And yet I'm like, now he must have went like 50 feet and fell over. It's like, no, they fucking stood there and watched him disappear off into the horizon.
Allah had other plans for him.
I guess so. I figure when the second Go 4 rolled around, that motherfucker hid under his bed.
I already used up all my luck. Better not push it.
Yeah, he doesn't gamble. He doesn't play cards. He looks both ways before he crosses the street.
Yeah, doesn't bother with a scratcher. He saves that buck.
Allah has plans for me. I'll become a mullah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd become really religious really fast.
Well, you'd seem to have proof, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Allah's on my side.
because he was the only dude that got out of the first burst, and everybody's he was like, we've looked at this thing a dozen times and we could not figure out why he's alive. And I went, pure dumb luck.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's no other explanation other than dumb luck.
Mm-hmm.
If you got to believe in the divine right there, because it's like, well, he does.
He certainly does.
So it seems the chat's talking about spooky ghost stories and supernatural tales coming out of the Gulf War.
Oh God. Okay, one thing. You got to remember, the first Gulf War was before cell phones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
And the only people that brought VCRs were guys from stateside and guys that had like 2 months notice that they were fucking leaving. My unit found out the day that Iraq invaded Kuwait we were leaving. So, we didn't have shit. So we would sit out there and, I was part of advance party, which meant I left like the day of. And we had nothing to do. There was no radio stations that sounded like fucking human stations. This shit sounded like, I don't know, someone was torturing a cat. Or fucking moon speak. It was like, like, what the fuck did he just say?
I'm sorry for laughing so hard.
No.
It's
like bagpipe practice.
Snort that got me.
It's like, what the fuck did that dude say? And so we'd sit around bullshitting, and we'd be up at like 3 a.m. doing guard duty. We're guarding sand, and because this was before the rest of the unit gets there. There's like 30 of us, and we'd tell and everybody'd be like, you know what? There's one rule while we're out here. As long as it's entertaining, you can't call bullshit. I don't give a fuck if he claims to have fought Bigfoot in hand-to-hand combat on the Empire State Building, as long as we're not just staring at each other. So everybody would tell ghost stories. And I don't remember very many of them, but I mean, you had the haunted train. People talk about the haunted train. Everybody's grandma knew about a ghostly train.
Oh, yeah.
There was one that had a basis in history. Dude was from Nevada and talked about how after the Civil War, for like 30 years, there was this fucking camel running around the desert with a skeleton on it.
I've heard of that too.
I've heard of that.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they used camels back in the Civil War to haul stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some dude caught around and the camel just carried him around for the next 30 years.
Cesario says that they were talking about stories from the Afghanistan war, not the Gulf War, but whatever. But okay. Well, I do know that in Vietnam, one, there was a lot of LSD and a lot of guys just went nuts. But it is true that apparently there was psychological warfare going on in which they would go out to locations with speakers and play really weird noises and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And half the time you'd end up scaring our own troops rather than the enemy.
Yeah.
Just send those fuck you lizards at them.
Oh, yes, the fuck you lizards. Tokay geckos.
I was stationed in a place called Veal Flicking. My God, what a fucking hole. It's above where we were at in Veal Flicking. It was above the ski resort. So that tells you what kind of hole it was. And we'd end up snowed in from like late September, early October to like March or April. And we're not talking, 5 feet of snow. We're talking 30 to 40 feet of snow by November. And one of the times they sent us a morale, welfare, and recreation box that had movies in it. And they sent us a VCR, which was cool. But the TV in the day room didn't work because somebody got mad and put a bullet in it. And one of the tapes they sent us was just the greatest thing to send people in a building that is so fucking cold. There's ice on the walls inside. The Thing.
Oh, dear God.
That was a bad winter.
Wow.
They sent us like Alien, The Thing.
You'd figure you'd want to send troops something more like Baywatch.
Yeah. And the CO was like, this is what they sent us for movies? We're all gonna die.
We sent you Bikini Car Wash. I mean, it's a horrible movie, but who cares?
All the sound off. And some of us had seen The Thing, and they were like, "You gonna watch it?" I'm like, "No." Come on, I heard it's a great movie. I'll pass. And then they come in my room. They'd be like, "We shouldn't have watched that." It's like, you fucking think.
Read this one because I know this one's actually there's fact behind this one.
Friend says, my dad had a member in his crew who saw a rock ape and it fucked up a guy. The guy who got beat emptied a 45 mag and buried his K-bar in its chest, and it still crawled out of the trench and walked.
What the fuck's a rock ape?
It's weird because the is it zoology community does not want to accept this thing as real, but it's real. Mm-hmm. And it's a breed of ape in Vietnam that likes to throw rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. Really? They don't, but primates use tools. Duh.
Now I want to go toe to toe with a rock ape.
If I was 20, I would have went. Oh God, we had boars up there. When everybody thinks of boars, they think of like 2 or 3 foot tall. No, these were Bavarian out boars, and they are like 5 feet tall at the shoulder.
Yeah.
This dude got, saw one and he fixed his bayonet, and the fucking thing charged him, and he tried to set the butt of his weapon into the ground so that pig would run up on the bayonet. Yeah, it did. And then his M16 broke, and then that pig fucked his day up.
Oh, M16 is just plastic.
Sounds like a razorback.
Jesus.
That's where the razorbacks come from.
Yeah. And everybody's like, "Oh, there's no wolves in Germany." The fuck there isn't. I used to have pictures of me standing with the carcass of one that stood about shoulder fucking high.
I said there's no fucking wolves in Germany.
I've seen wolves in Germany.
I had people tell me, "Oh, there's no wolves up in the Bavarian Alps." The fuck there isn't. And they're huge.
Yeah, there are.
Oh God. And we had this female. We only saw her in the winter. She was big and she was white. And she'd jog up in the snow and stare at the windows. And you could see her brain working. How can I get in there with all the tasty, tasty meat?
Shit.
That place was fucked up. And to get up to the motor pool, we had to make snow tunnels for about 4 blocks.
Holy crap.
Oh my God.
So, we're because you're not going to walk on the surface because, high winds and cold as fuck. And the air is so cold that if you don't have your cold weather mask on, you'll end up coughing up blood.
Oh,
oh, geez.
It was so bad up there. The army gave us extra money. It was called hazard pay. They gave us extra money because we lived in hell.
Wow.
And then everybody who lived further down the mountain, though, they were like, "Oh, this place is great, man. Fuck you." You're 2,000 feet. You're 1,000 to 2,000 feet below me. Go fuck yourself.
Jeez.
I don't know. I don't think I could cut it in that environment.
I was not in good shape when I came back to the States.
Well,
My wife's over there.
Maine.
She's shaking. My wife's over there shaking her head. I'll tell you, it was such a shitty place that being deployed to war was better.
Damn.
You know, they'd go, I need volunteers, and like people would put their hands up, and it'd be like, you know, he could say some shit like, I need someone to go to Africa and eat zebra shit, and like 50 people would raise their hand. Because fuck that place. That is the unit that I was in where the CO came with this great idea, because he knew that some of us had hobbies like D&D, BattleTech, Shadowrun, and he was watching us play BattleTech in the day room, and he's like, how high up can you scale this game? I was like, what do you mean, like power level? He goes, no, players. I'm like, you're going to need a judge once you hit about 10 players. He's like, all right. He goes, what's the scenario here? Because we were talking about what weapons were legal, what weapons weren't. And he borrows the books. And it was right when the clan books came out. And as a matter of fact, the novels had just came out. And he comes up to my room and takes a bunch of shit off my shelf and walks out. I'm like, thanks for asking. He came up with this genius idea. He writes to FASA, FASA, and these boxes start coming in. And I guess FASA figures a good time. It was a good tax write-off. So about October, he goes, look, I know everybody's kind of spazzing out. I know everybody's starting to fucking stare at their roommates thinking, I got to kill him before he kills me. So we're gonna do something. You're all going to draw lots. It's going to be NCOs and lower officers against the enlisted. We're going to flip a coin. Heads is clan, tails is inner sphere. And we refought the fucking clan war for BattleTech with like 300 players.
Holy crap.
Damn.
I mean, there was fist fights over shit.
Damn.
He drew a circle with chalk and put fighting circle. He's like, there's where you can do your, and he knew the lingo. He's like, there's where you can do your batch-alls.
Wow.
This guy was a genius.
Yeah, it kept us entertained for months.
Wow.
Of course, people did divide up according to clan and according to unit. We got their fight. We got their. Oh, it's one of the clanners. Go fuck yourself.
No, I don't think it wasn't. I don't think he meant it was a LARP undead. I think he just said it was a massive multiple players over a massive 300 people.
300 people and all the map boards, all the hex boards you could shake a stick at.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And the upper officers had to, and the really high NCOs had to act as the judges. It kept us entertained.
Yeah.
Hey,
sounds entertaining.
Oh.
That sounds like the largest group you were in, Ralts. What's the largest group everybody else has been in?
The largest game I've ever been in?
Yeah.
6 people.
6 people.
we sent pictures back to FASA. We sent pictures of them of, here's everybody refighting this battle. Here's everybody refighting that battle.
Wow. Surprised FASA didn't really kind of make this a newsworthy item.
Yeah.
I don't know if they might have. I mean, it was a fucking big deal. Yeah. What was to us?
So were you clans or?
I was inner sphere.
Inner sphere, okay.
I was enlisted.
So which house did you get?
I got Davian. I drew Davian, and I cannot for the life of me remember the unit I drew. He had this shit all done. He must have sat in his office for weeks planning this shit out.
Nice.
There wasn't a single suicide that year.
Actually, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah, there was no suicide. There was no murder the whole fucking winter.
That's also an accomplishment.
Nobody ate each other.
Yeah, nobody killed and ate each other. I mean, the week prior, I'm looking at my roommate. He's looking at me. I'm like, you're a really good friend, but you started mumbling to yourself. And he's like, no, I'm not. You are.
Oh, wow.
Because cabin fever is real.
Yeah. No. And I had a friend who was a submariner, And he said that there's nothing like going underneath the North Pole in a sub playing Paranoia.
Oh, that game's great.
Yes, but he said that had been the point. Somebody had gotten the bright idea to start playing Paranoia about the time where you could tell who everybody was by just their shoes, and everybody was wearing the same pair of shoes.
Oh, God.
Like, oh, shit. Yeah,
Didn't you also say that when anyone farted, the entire boat smelled it?
Oh, yeah. It got to the point where, nobody noticed anymore.
No, you're down there in a can full of farts and BO. I mean,
Yeah.
Exactly.
You doing okay, Janelle?
What?
You doing okay, Janelle?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm subdued, but Raltz gave me my first big laugh of the day. So thank you, kind sir.
You're welcome.
That was great. And I'm also just listening because I only played Battletech when I was at Virtual World. And I've never had anybody run a game for me. So I really don't know what clans are. I just know there's a lot of corporations with a lot of mechs that like to go fuck people up and take territory.
Oh, Janelle, I miss Virtual World.
Hippity hoppity, I nuked all your property.
I know nothing about this game at all.
Okay, Janelle?
Yes.
The original Battletech was sort of like, imagine the setting of Dune with the houses competing for planets.
Yeah.
With robots.
With great big battle mechs.
Yeah.
Oh God, that sounds like fun.
And then when they couldn't take that concept any further, they came up with this great idea where first it seems like an alien invasion from outside the galaxy, where the known universe comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out, no, these are humans that left Earth when the Empire fell, and now they're back.
Yeah, that's what we fought. We fought the battle for Terra in March. God, by that time the seal was posting guards to make sure nobody came in and moved stuff.
Wow.
Damn. Okay, so you guys really took this game seriously.
Oh yeah, we started taking this shit real seriously. we had rules for maintenance, how long it took to swap out the armor. You had to put down your bases, and the big thing we do is try to skirt the other guy and take out his logistics base, because then you could just nickel and dime him.
Okay.
Fucking locusts. Little fucking locusts, man. They're so fucking fast. We had minefields and shit.
Okay. Cesario also says that it's like Gundam, only American.
Yes.
Like, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I know Gundam, so all right.
But seriously, the great houses and the fighting over planets has a Dune vibe to it. It really does.
Yeah, it does.
Well, how many science fiction stories ever since Dune came out have heavily cribbed from Dune? I mean,
yeah,
I did.
Warhammer is a complete ripoff of Dune.
Yeah, you know how the Harkonnens in Dune were kind of based on what the Tsarist Russia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead, the equivalent house in this setting is Imperial Japan.
Leo.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fucking House Leo betrayed the fuck out of Steiner.
Yeah.
When we were playing, they fucking let a fucking
Well, I was thinking Kurita.
No, it was House Leo though. Let a bunch of fucking they dropped their locusts back and said there was nothing there, and let a fucking strike team of the clans in to hit Steiner's rear bases, so they could get the glory. It's like, you fucking, we're like, you dicks, and they're like, hey, we read the lore, and the judge ruled it okay. It was like, you fucking asshole. The whole fucking left flank almost collapsed. They're like, yeah, but we took care of their scouts. That's worth it. You lost the ammo dump. It's not our ammo dump.
Wow.
All right,
Yeah,
so this sounds like a nice, ruthless game.
Oh, yeah.
It can be. Oh, God, it's like when I deployed to Desert Storm, I jammed my Monster Manual, Dungeon Master's Guide, and Player's Handbook into my ruck. and three sets of dice. And a spiral notebook. Well, I was told by relatives that, when you go to war, it's, 99% boring as fucking shit and 1% of wishing you were home and hopefully didn't shit yourself. And goddamn, was it boring.
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of the feeling I get from a lot of your stories is it was a bunch of people with jobs and a lot of spare time.
Yeah. Oh, middle of a fucking rainstorm. I got a poncho on. I'm standing on top of a trailer, and a buddy of mine rolls up, and he's like, "Hey, we got to move the Hotel 104s, which was the MLRS pods. They need about 600 of them moved up. Grab your fork." And I went, "Okay." I went, "This sounds like a job for." And I took 2 steps and jumped because I was gonna jump off the trailer, do a tuck and roll, and come up. Ta-da! Be all cool. My fucking poncho caught.
Oh no!
Oh no!
And it just snatches me in midair, and I bounce like 2 or 3 times off the side of the fucking trailer, and then the snap pops on my poncho, and I fall in the fucking mud. My buddy goes, "For anyone else?" I was like, "You didn't see that?" He's like, "No, totally, I didn't see it." When I got back, everybody in the unit knew what had happened. It's like, you fucking dick.
Janelle, if you look on screen, this should give you an idea.
Okay, I like those minis.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the
Yeah,
green team? Because I like their minis the best. Those are nice.
I think they're Davian, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
we had little
Is that a
paper.
catapult back there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's
Sorry, I don't like anything that looks like Ultramarines, and those look like Ultramarines.
All right.
Sorry, I if there's any Warhammer fans out there that like the Ultramarines, I'm not a fan of the blueberries. They're all brown nosing goody two shoes. I prefer the white scars and the Night Lords.
Well, they're a martial order. Of course, they're goody two shoes.
See, that's why I like the bad guy, the Night Lords. They're all serial killers, literal terrorists, and the white scars are literally based on Genghis Khan and the Mongol Empire, so they kick ass too. Instead of horses, they have bikes, like really awesome motorcycles.
I'm a fan of the Sisters of Battle.
Fucking
Yeah.
love
Oh,
the
yeah.
sisters.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, Steve got me a 7-inch model of one of the Sisters of Battle. It's sitting next to my Black Legion Chaos Marine, my Necron Flayed one, and my Captain of the Dark Angels.
I like it because it's pure faith is what motivates them.
Oh yeah.
I don't think they have all the cybernetics that the Space Marines do. I think it's just, whatever they do to those women, it changes it so they all have white hair, which I kind of dig that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, their hair is dyed white because it was for the first martyr, and I can't remember her name. But yeah, the first martyr of the sisters, the sisterhood, they all dye their hair white, and that's why they also have the fleur de lis on their boobs and cheeks.
Yeah.
Plus, I like they have the big Inquisition signs too, since they're technically an offshoot.
Well, we're talking about them. And I said,
Distracting.
what a lot of people don't realize that bitch about there being no female Space Marines is the Sisters of Battle. If they roll in, I mean, it could be the Ultramarines down on the planet fighting. If the Sisters of Battle roll in and say, "We declare exterminatus," the only thing the Ultramarines can do is get the fuck off that planet as fast as possible.
Oh
Because
yeah,
the sisters don't care. They'll just fucking start bombing it.
yeah.
They're
no,
they're like one step below the Inquisition, and I think I've heard sometimes they've countermanded the Inquisition.
They oh shit, what was it? Oh, now it's left my brain because you said the Inquisition, and that made me think of something else. Anyway, yeah, they do. They're so hardcore that if one of them does something kind of bad, they stick themselves in penitent engines. And those are basically, they're filled full of narcotics. There's no shield on one. And they are bombarded with the hymns and praises of the God Emperor. And they're basically berserkers that go in and will fight till they die. And they never die.
Sounds a little like the Imperial Fists with their pain glove.
Yes, okay, it's one big pain glove. It's one big BDSM mech that they stick themselves in. Because the Imperial Fists, I'm sorry, they're leather daddies with that fucking pain glove thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, are those the dudes who have the crown that's on fire? That's literally a torch.
I think
That
those
sounds
are.
like a sister's thing.
I was going to say that sounds like the Inquisition.
It
Yeah, it
has
sounds
the
like
word fire.
librarians.
I think that was an Inquisition.
Sounds kind of like librarians.
We
It
still
has
have
the word
to
fire in it. It sounds like the sisters.
Link of flames.
Fuck.
Yeah, I think if the sisters had their way, they'd bathe themselves in promethium, light themselves on fire, and run into a crowd of heretics, screaming praises to the God Emperor.
There's one unit. I only know about this because we had the graphic novel for a while where the guy basically had one of those old school penitent hats, the ones that the dunce caps are based off of. But so it's this cone, but it's made out of like barbed wire and wrought iron, and it's fucking on fire. And he swings around with him. Yeah, those incense burner things.
Censer.
It also is on
Censer,
fire, and
yeah.
it's like a freaking mace or a morning star that he whacks around. And he's got a flamethrower too, which is pretty badass.
Speaking of sisters, I still need to get the second part of Demon Fugue because that was so good.
Yes, you do. I'll try to track down a good copy of it because it's out of print. So if I come across it at a reasonable price, I'll let you know.
Hey, Ishi.
Ishi has stepped away for a moment.
Oh,
He will be back.
Never mind.
Drunk Remembrancer is my favorite artist. That's Tim Cook. Oh my gosh, the first book of the Horus Heresy. Trying to remember the kind of pudgy Remembrancer that would get drunk and talk shit to the Imperial Guard and get his ass beat for it, but he didn't care. I loved that guy. He died during the heresy. That made me sad.
I don't even remember that one.
There was a group of remembrancers that ran around with Euphrates Keeler, who actually is part. I believe she's part of the Sisterhood. She's like one of their martyrs. And like I said, this guy was basically Shakespeare, but he was old and got drunk and talked shit, and he'd get beaten to a bloody pulp and didn't care. He'd just do it again.
We found it.
What?
Redeemer.
It's this dude.
That looks like Inquisition.
We picked it up because Pat Mills wrote it, and there was a house fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was really over the top.
It was very over the top. It was awesome.
Well, I'm gonna say it. People enjoy over the top stuff. I mean, they really do. All of this postmodernist deconstruction and take it down to the bare minimum. Fucking people are tired of it. I mean, it's, as long as it makes sense and it has internal logic, people are fine with it. I
think maybe that's the lost art, is maintaining an internal logic. As long as you follow your own rules, it's fine.
Well, I just did a chapter where, one of the horrors of the past came back to haunt, present people in the present, from 9,000 years before. And everybody who read it, some of the people guessed what was in the armor. And because I have internal logic, and nobody said, okay, this sounds like bullshit. They were all like, this sounds like something that would have been done. And yeah, it's over the top for any other setting, but for what I've written, it's not. And I've bitched about before that everybody's tech starts and stops at Star Trek and Star Wars, and I'm sick of it. They came up with that shit 60 years ago. Move the fuck on. I agree. Even Warhammer 40K, very rarely do you see high-end super tech. I mean, the power armor is great and everything, but if reading it, I noticed that they're in a severe technological regression.
Oh, you can thank the Mechanicus for that because of the Omnissiah.
See, I didn't. What the hell is the I mean, I've got the digital Omnissiah code made flesh. That's a little different. But what the fuck is the whole Omnissiah behind the Mechanicus?
Okay, so the Machine God is My husband, we were talking about Warhammer, and he just came in and did the Imperial Aquila across his chest and walked off. The Machine God is basically the Mechanicus is also based on Catholicism because the Omnissiah is Jesus. It's the mechanical version of Jesus. And the whole thing about the Machine God and how their religion got all fucked up is they said no other technology can be made. Because if it's already been made, then it needs to be here. If you make any other technology, that is heresy. That's why all their shit is falling apart.
Okay.
So the Omnissiah, the Emperor is like, oh yeah, I'm your Omnissiah, even though he really wasn't. But because his psyker powers included being a technopath, so he could repair machinery, they were like, oh, cool, the Omnissiah has arrived. He's like, hey, great, come join my war. And they're like, all right,
Well,
cool.
yeah, and he saved him from the Dragon of the Moon single-handedly. So
yeah, you know what? Do you have any books do you know of any books that go further into the Dragon of the Moon? Because the stuff on that is so sketchy.
Yeah, if you're gonna find anything, it's gonna be with the Necrons and the what are they called? The Cathan or the Cthulhu?
Yeah,
or
the
whatever
Catan.
Catan, yeah, those goofballs.
Okay. I gotta say, my favorite Xenos faction is the Necrons, because they are literally grumpy old men with a fucking shotgun saying, "Get off my lawn."
I actually read some of them. I read an Ultramarines book, and it went into a little bit of what they were about, and it's entirely plausible. I mean,
yeah, they're very grumpy.
Yeah, I kind of like it. I don't know.
There's a book called The Infinite and the Divine.
Yeah.
And it's literally grumpy old men. Just like imagine Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon. From the movie Grumpy Old Men, but they're grumpy old machines, and they just keep fucking each other over the whole book.
Yep.
Oh God, I love that image. Oh, I love Necrons.
I forget the guy. There's one of the Necron. He's like constantly stealing things from time and such.
That's Trace in the Infinite.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Yes.
So the Necrons look horrifying, but they're grumpy old men.
It literally takes them thousands of years to make a decision because they also invented bureaucracy.
Oh shit!
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, once they start moving, they're fucking hell on wheels.
Yes. But it'll take them like 10,000 years before they make a decision to move and invade. That's what makes them so great.
Aren't the Necrons who's stomping the shit out of the Warhammer universe now?
No, that is actually right now Chaos is winning.
Chaos is ruffle stomping them.
Oh, it's bad. I mean, it's bad in a good way, but Abaddon finally didn't lose a crusade. And and a new demigod, Chaos demigod has popped up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what made Lionel Johnson return. And I can't remember the Vashtor. And he is about to become the 5th Chaos God, and he's going to be the god of machines, which is going to be really interesting with the Mechanicus, because all of a sudden it's going to be like, wait, this is the machine god?
Yeah, and the funny thing, he's doing it acting like he's Abaddon's little bitch, but he's really about to become a chaos god.
I bet you anything Perturabo is going to become his demon prince. Just the
last thing I knew was God, I can't remember their name, but the hive was spreading out and it was messing up the warp, and it was basically cutting the galaxy in half.
Oh yeah, there is actually a 4th Tyrannic War going on, but it's great. The Imperium figured out if you throw demons at Tyranids, they use up all their biomass, but they can't reabsorb demons.
Right.
So they're literally starving them to death by throwing them into warp rifts, which I was like, that's pretty brilliant.
Finally, a good idea.
I know. Oh, who's everybody's favorite chaos god? I'm a pervert. I like Slanesh because Slanesh is based off Hellraiser.
Is that the one?
The one on the right.
The one with the tongue and tits.
Yeah.
Corn.
Zinch.
You know, I'm not blood god. What the Warhammer universe to say.
I'm not either, but anybody that's got blood for the blood god, I'm down with it.
Oh,
I like Zinch because he's connected to the Thousand Suns.
if you play the game Dark Tide,
I've got that. I just don't
okay,
play it.
I don't
the
know if I ever played
sister,
that.
that's the fanatic, will start going really batshit and start screaming blood for the God Emperor, skulls for the Golden Throne.
That's bad shit.
Yeah, it's when they start talking. It's when they start reading the bad part of the Bible that you got to start worrying. When your coworker's drinking tequila, holding a picture of his wife and sobbing and reading the bad part of the Bible, you might want to take some sick days because that motherfucker's coming in with a gun.
Oh, wait, Undead, I have Dark Tide. You guys just need to like email me or call me or something and be like, get your ass on Steam. I'll play. I want to be an Ogren. I always play tanks. I will fuck shit up for you guys.
I do know that you can play with less than 4 people now.
That's
think-
good.
Ironcast says that he likes Tzintich, the
Zinch.
shit lord god.
Zinch.
Yes, Zinch is the god of shitlords and edgelords.
Yeah, he's
And
hilarious
emo
too.
and emo people.
Really?
Yeah,
God, yeah.
you never know whether you're in his favor or not.
He's the god of plots and schemes.
He'll get you all powerful, and then he'll throw you off a bridge.
Just look at what happened to Magnus. Perfect
Oh,
example.
poor
Oh.
Magnus.
Magnus did nothing wrong.
He did him dirty. He did
Yeah.
him dirty.
Why the hell haven't we had a good Warhammer 40K movie?
We're gonna
We've had bad ones.
We are going to get a good Warhammer 40K series because after Cavill got fucked over by the Witcher crew and then also by Warner Brothers, Amazon was like, hey, we'll give you complete executive producer control if you want to make a Warhammer 40K series. So they're making it right now as we speak.
I don't know. I like the Ultramarine movie.
I
haven't watched it yet.
Ultramarine movie.
Oh, I got it in the little steel box. It was worth it.
Maybe I'll watch it.
Yeah.
I got 40 or 50 more chapters to go, and I'm done. I'm done with the first series. 40 or 50 more chapters, so I'll be done by August.
Oh, Ironcast, that's right. Event Horizon is the unofficial prequel to Warhammer 40K because the guy who wrote it was a major Warhammer 40K fanatic, and the black hole is what sends you to the warp. That's why it says it's pure chaos. No, it's the warp.
Yeah.
And the eight-sided star of chaos is what surrounds the entire engine. Go back and watch the movie after studying Warhammer. All the colors of the chaos gods are in the ship. You'll see red, blue, pink, and green. And you can see where their influence was. Like you can see Khorne had a blast along with Slanesh with the
Hey,
first
Dead.
crew.
Undead, we'll watch that tomorrow.
What, Event Horizon?
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that film.
That's one of my favorites.
Me and Dead will watch it tomorrow.
That is one of the few films that actually creeps me out. There are very few films that legit creep me out. That is one of them.
I've made a lot of references to that film in my series, and I've basically
noticed.
I basically come out and say, oh yeah, that movie's canon.
I have noticed quite a few times. Was it you called them? Was it Hellgates or
Hellspace?
Hellspace?
Yeah. When you said Hellspace, I was like, yes, Ralts chose the warp.
And there are things that live in there.
Yeah.
See, that's
'Cause
why
that's
I
like-
like your books, Ralts. You have your own sci-fi and you have your own style, but man, you hit on all the good stuff that's come out. I'm
We
sorry,
gotta
I'm a little
remember.
fatty, I'm drinking now.
What happened? What caused the Mithril Nebula War? Bornhole Elven Queens worshipping Hellspace.
Okay.
That
So
did
does
not
mean
come
that
out well.
Does that mean that they murder fucked it into existence? Because that's what the Eldar did.
More like it corrupted an entire star cluster that was going through terraforming with Bornhole Elven Quartz.
Oh shit. Well, I'm glad that summer's coming up and I don't have to take Chris to school after this week because that means I can buckle down and read your books. So the only reason I haven't continued is because I need time. I don't like it's so intricate and I'm like, I can't just spend 15 fucking minutes here and there. I'm like, no, I need to keep going.
Yeah, that is I would say that is one of the
Yeah,
few
Tim
things
Cook.
that I'll say about Raltz's work
Mhm.
is you cannot be a passive fan.
Yeah.
You cannot
Huh.
passively enjoy his work. You
Really?
have to pay attention,
Oh,
or
yeah.
you're going to miss it,
Yeah.
or you'll get lost real quick.
Yes.
Well, I look at it like this, if people are fans, shouldn't I at least do the effort of entertaining them?
Yes.
Yeah, and you're doing your job. I
Mhm.
mean, you had me, I'm telling you, opening your first book with crack ice cream for insect was the greatest move you made. I'm telling you.
And let's not forget, he totally on purpose and not at all accidentally saved Christmas.
I haven't read okay, I have the Pathok Chronicles. I wanted to wait and finish the second book before I read the Chronicles.
And there's the great line. So did this really happen? The Trinod Gestalt was like, yes, we'll fight anybody who says otherwise. Oh, Ishi, did you get the 20 pages I sent you?
Holy crap! You've not checked your voicemail, have you?
No.
I actually left you a few messages about it.
Oh, you're the Arizona call.
Yeah.
It's like, who the fuck do I know in Arizona?
Yeah, we're just the disembodied voice in the computer.
No.
Once I heard you were sick, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, he's asleep.
Yeah, so that's okay. That's who the calls are coming from. I was like, the calls are coming from in the house. I was like, well, if it's Ishi, it would say Ishi and Cat. I guess you got a new cell phone. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Because usually we call you on my phone. So.
Okay, that explains it.
Oh, Undead, he didn't out them. People know that they live in Riz.
Yes.
They talk about how amazing it is.
Yes, I wouldn't have said anything if it wasn't common knowledge that he got away from Area 51 and just stopped at the first fucking suburb he found.
Yes.
Well, actually, it's not true.
Yeah.
You came to Morgantown.
He escaped Area 51 and was hitchhiking, and this chick with huge tits picked him up in a convertible, and his friends never saw him again.
Well, thing is it really wasn't Area 51. Everyone thinks that's where they keep the alien bodies, but actually it's the Blue Room at Wright-Patterson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, have your friends figured out that you're not coming back with the parts they need yet?
No, he just went out for smokes and never came back.
Exactly.
After Walter, they just gave up.
Yeah.
Hey, Undead, there's plenty of booze for this stream. In fact, my husband brought me booze because I've not been having a good day, and that's why I got chatty.
Oh, man.
Booze and boobs.
Yes. Hey, speaking of booze, I know that you guys like to hear about what I make. I finally was able to today brew the blueberry hard cider. It's starting. It's already a beautiful purple color.
Blueberries are gross.
Oh, you don't like blueberries?
When I was a kid, I picked blueberries for a summer, and I've never eaten them since.
Do you like raspberries?
Yeah.
And cherries? Because
Yes.
I've got that too.
Yes.
So I need to talk to you about sending you stuff, Raltz, because I don't think I'll be able to send it to you bottle-wise because I use yeast instead of club soda or carbonated water. So I might just have to send you the syrups that I make. There's no preservatives though, but I don't use corn syrup. I use sugar. And I might just send them to you and your wife in containers, and then you guys can go buy carbonated water and mix them.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, you can get carbonated water right up at Walmart and Costco.
All right. But I don't want to send it to you in bottles too, because a
crap,
possible
Kat.
bottle bomb would happen.
Is
So
she
I'd rather
sitting over
send
there?
you the syrup.
Is she sitting over there farting?
No.
No. It is a scent though. It's like she said she wanted to know if I was cool with her
Having a little.
having a little of Janelle's rape juice.
Oh my God.
Go kill it.
We do this broadcast from my office. I smell it the moment she comes through the door.
Damn.
The smell is strong.
I've been trying so hard to make weaker brews.
That's okay.
No, it's a good batch.
Well, if you're gonna do that, I'm gonna have a little bit of sake. I'll be back.
You know where it is.
Oh no.
I don't know where it is. Wait, is this still the counter?
Huh? No.
You have to go get it then. I don't know where it is.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I figure you guys have been married long enough. It's gone from, oh God, I hope they don't realize that I didn't, that my armpits are sweating to, hey, did you hear how great I farted? I figure you guys have been together that long.
We don't give a shit about farts. No. She hides the
Hey.
sake not because of drinking problems, but because I'll sleep drink.
Oh,
And that's
Wake up hungover.
No, I've never. Well, it's sake.
Yeah.
You don't wake up hungover, but
Oh,
there's
I
been a
don't
few
know.
times where it's like, where the fuck did my sake go?
my daughter, who's a huge fan, says hi.
Hey, how you doing?
He says hi.
No, there's a number of well, shit. I've done other things in sleepwalking. Apparently, I broadcast once sleep.
Yes, I remember that.
I haven't watched that episode yet. I just
That was a
remember
good
the
one.
story that I think it was Kat told it,
Yeah.
where you slept walked and she woke up to the TV blaring and you had your face pressed against the TV.
I was watching Galaxy Rangers, and apparently, when she asked me what the hell I was doing, I said, "Well, it's better with the volume up." That's what I said.
They gave me some heavy duty meds once after I crushed my chest and they did surgery and everything. I'm laying on the couch and I wouldn't let the kids go in the dining room because I was convinced there was a cannibal clown hiding under the dining room table and he would get the kids.
Holy crap! That's
And
special.
my wife came home from work and my friend was watching me and he's like, "Yeah, he thinks there's a cannibal clown underneath the kitchen table." And first question out of my wife's mouth, "Put the shotgun where he can't find it." He was like, "Oh yeah."
No, the thing about sleepwalking is, things like finding your phone in the refrigerator or not being able to find your glasses because you don't remember where you took them off when you were asleep.
That sounds like when I'm drunk. Oh God, I had contacts one time and I passed out drunk and I woke up, my contacts were still in.
Oh shit.
No.
Fuck.
Wow.
The other one is, I don't know if I do it anymore, but when I would sleepwalk, I used to turn every light on in the house. Do I still do that?
No.
Yeah.
I've been so exhausted. I've done stuff. I wasn't sleepwalking. I was just so exhausted. My brain wasn't making the right connections.
Yeah.
I remember I got up and in my brain, I had gotten up and my brain said I was in the bathroom taking a leak. And I come out of it. My roommate's going, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm standing there pissing in the trash can. I'm standing on a chair. I'm standing on the chair to piss in the trash can.
And you were sleep deprived?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'd been up for like 4 days.
You sound like Piss Jesus.
And he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Wait, I was in the bathroom." He's like, "Dude, no, you weren't." He goes, you got up from where you're sitting down, and you walked in a circle like 4 times and climbed up on the chair."
I think you were sleepwalking. If you thought you were in the bathroom, you were sleepwalking.
Okay, that's about sleep deprivation is when I've done it.
Yeah. Yeah, you started dreaming awake.
Right,
Yeah.
Undead. Right. At least he was aiming at the trash can.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing is sleepwalking functions on the idea of you doing repetitive motions. So sleepwalkers tend to do things that they do in their day-to-day life. It's just it manifests in strange ways, like you think you're going to the bathroom and instead it's in a trash can. So
what was the weirdest one I ever did, or object you found?
There was the cereal bowl in the bathroom.
Full of cereal, and it was just left there, right?
No, there was still milk in the bottom.
I have no idea what happened.
You just sat down to take a shit while eating your cereal. I mean, makes
Apparently, that's
Multitasking.
entirely possible.
Empty the bottom, fill the top.
I had a girl I was sleeping with get terribly embarrassed. We'd been up for like 3 days straight doing work. We come back to the barracks and she goes, "Hey, can I sleep with you?" I don't want to walk all the way to my room. And I'm like, "Yeah." Middle of the night, I realize I'm laying in a puddle. And she had dreamed that she got up and went to the bathroom and then came back and laid down. But in reality, she just pissed my bed.
Oh, no.
She was like, "Oh my God, I'm serious. I could swear I went up and went to the bathroom." I was like, No, you didn't. She's like, "You're not mad at me, are you?" I'm like, No, I don't even care.
Is that a hillbilly waterbed?
Yeah. And she was like, you want to get up and like pull the mattress off? I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I was so tired. I was like, I don't even care.
The scariest one for me was I
It's
had
just
a
dance.
drug dealer, not a psychiatrist. This guy was a fucking drug dealer, and quite frankly, if he winds up in prison, that would be a good thing. But he prescribed to me Ambien
Oh
because
fuck.
he got a kickback. I took it. I woke up at 2 p.m. at work the next
Oh
day.
shit.
I was fully dressed. Everything was fine. But that's when I suddenly woke up and went, how the fuck did I get here? I was doing a normal day. I had driven.
Yeah.
People didn't know that I was sleepwalking.
I've had that
Yeah.
happen. Wake up at work and be like, it used to happen all the time in that unit because people would be like standing in formation with their eyes closed.
Oh, shit.
I'll apologize in advance if this one pisses you off. So I'm
Okay.
apologizing. Now,
Okay.
the worst ambient story I can tell about you
Okay.
was the evening where you were getting really hot and heavy with me,
Okay.
and it's getting really good, and then you sit up and you're like, we can't. And I go, why?
Oh.
Because all these people are watching.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
And I'm like, there's nobody here. It's like, I can't with all these people watching.
Oh God, poor
Oh
cat!
man.
That would scare the shit out of me too.
And then you wanted to know how all the people got in the room.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh wow, Ambien was not good for you.
No.
All
That
right.
was a bad doctor just in general.
Has anybody had this series of dreams, or am I the only one, where you dream that you get up in the morning, go take a shower, get dressed, eat, get in the car, drive to work, and you walk up to, and you open the door to go to work, and you fall, and so you wake up with a jerk because falling dream. You're like, oh, it's time to get up. You get up, take a shower, have breakfast, go out to the car, drive to where you work, step out of the car, fall. And it keeps getting shorter until you just dream where you wake up and you fall, and then you wake up and just lay on the bed holding the sheet and going, fuck! Or am I the only one that has that?
Oh,
no,
That's
I've
pretty
actually
screwed up.
had dreams like that where like
It just keeps getting shorter.
yes, and then you start jerking, and it's like you're having a seizure because you keep
Yeah.
falling in your fucking dream. Yeah, I've had that. Those are
Oh.
like when I'm super exhausted or super
Yes.
stressed.
My
Yeah.
wife usually wakes me up because I'll jerk, and like the third or fourth time she'll wake me up because she knows I'm having that dream.
No,
That
Steve's had to
sucks.
wake me up because I've actually kicked him jerking a lot to the point where it's like,
Oh.
hey, it's okay, calm down, calm down.
My wife is Kicky McGee. She'll kind of wedge herself at an angle, so she's taking up like 2/3 of the bed,
Mhm.
and I'm on her side, so she's kicking me, and I'm like, the worst part was when she was like 8 months, 9 months pregnant, she'd lay against me, and the baby would kick me.
Hey,
And I'd be like, God damn it!
on a side note, I have a really great story about Steve getting kicked by
What?
Chris while he was in utero. So Steve would talk to my belly, you know, so he'd get used to Steve's voice. And Steve,
Yeah.
being Steve, started, you know, talking shit and singing really annoying. And I kid you not, Chris kicked his face. Like we saw the foot come up out of the belly. It was like, nope, stop. And Steve was like, all right. He stopped doing that.
What I love is you have
He's done.
doctors now. You have doctors nowadays that claim that babies do not push hard enough. You can see their foot.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
I've seen my son's hand and feet go across my belly,
Yeah.
exorcist style.
Did you see what? Did you ever see it when they push their ass or they push their face until they kind of like bulged?
No,
It'd be like,
I didn't see
what
their
are you
ass,
doing?
but
That's
Chris was
alien
so
shit.
I seen the
fucking
face.
huge that when he had hiccups, you would watch my belly expand horizontally because his arms and his legs would jerk out. It was just the weirdest shit. Like
It's like-
Steve and I would just be sitting like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh.
Oh, babies are weird. If it gets to the point where her belly button is purple and sticking out, you're gonna see that baby's hand and feet. You're gonna
Yeah.
be able to watch it like roll.
Now, Chris liked to do somersaults and kick the fuck out of me. So yeah, doctors saying that that's not true. It's not just me. I've
They
seen
don't
it
move
with other-
around enough.
That's bullshit. Like I'm not joking. The
It's
last
like,
3 months
how
of my
fucking-
pregnancy,
How lazy are Zoomers that they don't even fucking move around?
Chris moved around so much that on days he did not move, I would call the doctor's office. I mean, he was in constant movement. I'd be like, okay, is this okay? He's like, he's had active movement for 3 weeks straight and now he's stopped. And they'd be like, okay, just sit for an hour and like meditate basically and feel. And he might just be having a lazy day and just sit for an hour. If he moves 10 times, you're good to go. So yeah, that's bullshit if they say that, you can't see hands, feet, whatever. Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
them. They don't know what they're talking about. Sorry.
I don't know, just think right now, somewhere, the doctor that's going to take care of you when you're older is currently cheating on his test so he can pass.
Uh,
That is food for thought, isn't it?
When I was tending bar, I'd hear all these old people, why do I have to pay taxes for schools? I don't have children in school. I'd look at them and say, the doctor that's going to be taking care of you in 10 years is literally in school right now.
Our pal Ginger here has to take off, so.
Oh.
Hey, all. Good night, and I hope you have
Good
a
night.
great evening.
it was
You
good
too.
hanging out with you, man.
Take it easy. Hope whatever that was, you can solve it. And then there was silence.
So, what?
Oh, it sounded like you were having difficulties when you were talking to somebody else, and I hope you can solve whatever difficulty it was.
Oh, no. Sorry about that. Have a good night, guys.
You too.
Night. So I saw that Fiona has also had issues with Shadow Man. I actually have had that too, but I haven't. It's like they're hovering over me and like pressing down on my back. Has that ever happened to you?
No, I've never seen any of that.
Dude, I thought I was like, you think you're awake or you're paralyzed in bed and you are trying to get out of your bed, but you can't. And you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, no, I hate that shit. And that also happens when I'm really sleep deprived or super exhausted.
Oh, go ahead.
The Shadow Man is, that was kind of what weirded me out when I started looking into sleep paralysis, because I have it, was finding out that is a globally shared experience, is encounters with the so-called Shadow Man. And there's usually two versions, and one is, it looks like basically a humanoid form that's completely black, and then there's another one that wears a hat and trench coat. And this has gone on for millennia, which
Holy
is really
shit.
weird.
You speak about the hat and trench coat. I don't know if you guys remember in the Tales from the Dark Side. So there was an episode that was about the Shadow Men, and they came out with the trench coat and hat, and you find out they actually are the bodyguards of people, and they go after their bullies.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's actually one of my favorite Dark Side episodes because it ends on such a creepy twist. But yeah, I had never heard of him in a hat and a trench coat. To me,
it's a bit rare, but people will see the hat and trench coat silhouette. My experience is, I mean, the symbolism's pretty obvious once you get into it, but for me, the Shadow Man's always a semi-solid being. It has to open doors or crawl through windows when I have the sleep paralysis, so it's not like a ghost. But typically, the experiences I've had were the Shadow Man will come in and stab me in the back where my bullet wound is.
Ooh,
I've had that happen in ages, but those were terrible.
I remember one of the worst ones I had where it actually triggered sleep paralysis. I was so scared because I could, feel the Shadow Man. I went into sleep paralysis and I kept trying to reach for my Bible because I was that fucking scared. And luckily my paralysis only lasted for like an hour or so. Because I've heard stories of people having it for like 8 to 9 hours of just nonstop paralysis. But yeah, that shit's fucked up.
See, the worst I've ever had is it happened to me and 3 of my brothers. After our mom had her stroke, we were all like, haha, now she can't get us. We all started having nightmares. And we all had the exact same nightmare. That we'd be laying in bed and the door would open and our mother would be standing there. And she'd be like, do you think you can get away? Do you think naughty little boys like you can get away with what you've done? And she'd start strangling us.
Wait, this was
All
a shared
four.
dream?
Yeah, all four of us had it.
Whoa.
The same wording, the same way she stood there, wearing the same clothes.
Now, this was a grandmother?
No, my mother.
Your mother. Oh,
Yeah.
that is creepy.
And what was weird is after she died, we haven't had that dream since.
Wow.
And my brother was like, is it weird that sometimes I think she was trying to take us with her?
Oh, fuck.
And I'm like, no. She had a stroke. She's not haunting us. Well, how long did you have the dream? Like 3 years. Yeah,
Okay.
all of us had it, but we didn't have it on the same night.
That is creepy.
So
Yeah.
it's like she bounced around to you guys, seeing who she could weaken
Yeah.
and take. That's fucked up. You need to write a horror story about that. I would buy
That's,
it.
that's like one of the themes that I do when I write is evil never dies.
No,
Yeah,
but
now she's fucking with my sister.
oh, the sister that stole your awesome car.
No, she's actually cool. She's coming to my daughter's wedding. Me and her love each other. She's great. She let me borrow a house for like 2 years. But no, my little sister, who was a chronic fuck up to the point where she changed her name and completely denied knowing anybody in the family. Right.
Damn.
And she wouldn't even the last time we saw her, she was trying to get our mom, after she was in the hospital for having her stroke. She's trying to get my mom to co-sign a loan. And that's when I fucked up her fiance in the elevator. And nobody's seen her for like years. We're talking 5-10 years, like 5 years went by. Nobody heard from her. It was like, she's dead. And one of my cousins ran into her at Walmart, and she was like, she's like, hey. Finally, she corners her back in the women's section. Goes, I know it's you. And she goes, look, my husband doesn't know I have any family. He doesn't know anything about me. Can you and everybody else just leave me alone? And we're like, okay. Well, she got a hold of one of my brothers and was like, hey, are any of you having dreams about mom? And my brother's like, oh, were you having dreams she's bringing you fucking candy and presents? And she's like, no, I'm having dreams she's following me around, telling me that she's going to tell everybody who I really am, because I never came and visited her in the home. And my brother was like, okay, so you get to deal with her now. Have fun.
Oh, Jesus.
But yeah, that's why, evil never dies. Yeah, one of my brothers, the jailbird, has been in and out of jail since he was like 12. He said he'd have nightmares now and then after when mom was in the home with her stroke, and she was not communicated for like 4 years. And my brother said that they'd do lights out on the cell block, and sometimes he'd hear rustling, and he'd turn and look, and mom was standing there staring at him. And he said he blew it off until his cellmate was like, asked the guard, he's like, do we have a female CO here? No. Who the fuck is the bitch standing in the fucking doorway at night? The guard was like, there's nobody standing in the doorway. And my brother said his roommate described her to a T.
Okay,
and I was like,
yeah,
so what happened? He goes, I did so well with good behavior after that they gave me early release.
Wow, so your mom is haunting your family. Lovely.
It's not a surprise. Evil never dies.
Like, you hear stories about people in families having, I don't want to say the same dream, but dreams that are similar or related. The fact that his fucking cellmate saw her scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, everybody's like, your cellmate was full of shit. He's like, no, man, my cellmate was this black dude who said it was fucking with him that there was a creepy white woman staring at him.
Whoa.
And I'm like, he's full of shit. He's always, but then it's like, part of me though is like, is he yanking my chain this time, or is it, because I'd wake up and I'd have scratches on my neck. Because my wife was like, oh, you scratched your neck in your sleep. I was like, I had a nightmare. So I figure I scratched my neck, except for one thing. I bite my nails.
Oh, so you have nothing to scratch with.
Right.
Damn.
So you wanted ghost stories? There's one.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
one.
speaking of creepy shit, did you guys ever read the Stephen King short story anthology Night Shift?
No.
I think I did, but I think it was when he's still doing coke.
Okay, that's actually I think one of his best works because there's 2 short stories in it called Jerusalem's Lot and Night Surf. Those short
Salem's Lot,
stories
right?
are what created Salem's Lot and The Stand. There's a story in this book
Oh,
that is called The Boogeyman, and they've come out with a movie. That movie is actually a sequel to the short story. Let me tell you, that short story, the description of the boogeyman and what it does. I read this book as an adult in my 20s. Scared me so fucking bad. I started crying and I begged Steve not to go to his night shift at the theater and stay with me because I was scared shitless. The boogeyman was coming for me. And the things that everybody is describing reminds me of that short story. And it makes me wonder if Stephen King, while he was coked out and drinking alcohol like crazy, had way too many experiences with said shadow men because go ahead.
Well, shadow people are a very interesting phenomena. The shadow man, not shadow people, not the thing you see out of the corner of your eye, but the experience in sleep paralysis is curious because a lot of the things people see in sleep paralysis are culturally specific. And for a very, very long time, Western culture, you often saw either a little demon guy or a haggard old witch. So much so that the term haggard is a reference to I didn't get any sleep last night.
I'm
because
Hagrid.
Yes, because the haggard witch was staring at me or
So
sitting on my
hag.
chest. And
Hagrid. Yeah, sorry.
other women, or not other cultures would see like in India, you'd see a beautiful woman that would try to take your soul. Different cultures saw different things. Every culture saw the shadow guy. That's the interesting one.
That's freaky as fuck.
I've never seen one of those. But then I got my mom, so hey.
Yeah, exactly. And oh god, what's the movie? Is it Insidious? The dudes who did Saw.
Yeah, Insidious.
For all the flaws of that Insidious movie, if you look at that film as through the perspective of sleep paralysis, it matches up.
So I've never seen the Insidious movies because I'm like, that's going to make me not sleep for a week.
It's interesting is the first one, at least, or actually I think both of them, the goriest it gets is a bloody handprint. There's actually no gore whatsoever. It's all...
I'm trying to think of any movie that made it so I had difficulty sleeping.
Well, I'll tell you one, and you guys are going to laugh at me, but then if you think about it, you're like, okay, no, it makes sense. John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness was my first introduction to H.P. Lovecraft and cosmic horror, and I didn't sleep for a fucking week. Or I
love that
slept
movie.
with the light on. I was 15 years old, went and saw it with my friend. And like, oh yeah, I love that movie now, but I had never heard of H.P. Lovecraft, so I was like, this is fucking gnarly. I don't know what the fuck to do. This is scary shit.
I love the end where he's sitting in the theater eating popcorn and laughing.
That is the best part of the movie when he's self-aware and he's just like, fuck it, this is great. And he's gone and no, wait, he's sane. Everybody else has gone insane. That was the best part of the movie.
He figures out he is a character in a novel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I never came across anything that like made me so scared I had to keep the lights on until watching the Tales from the Crypt episode Television Terror with the where you have the TV personality who goes into the haunted house. And that's because my mom had me convinced that our house was haunted and that the poltergeist nexus point was in my closet.
Thanks, Mom.
Wait, is that the same house where the room was 10 degrees cooler?
Yeah.
And it had to be smudged?
Yeah, that was the house where in summertime in August in Los Angeles at 2 p.m. you could see your breath in my bedroom. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So, I am fine with everything. It's haunted house stories I love, but they creep the shit out of me, and it's strictly because of that house specifically. I would not enter my bedroom if the closet door was open with the lights off, and it's only that house. I've never had a problem since. And
It was like in Time Bandits.
Yep, kinda, yeah.
I got a couple of creepy ones if you guys want them.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, I just want to say, Television Terror is one of the rare Tales from the Crypt I have not seen, and I've seen almost all of them. And I know, and I'm like, fuck. Of course, now that you've told me about it, I'm probably gonna shit myself when I watch it.
Now, Janelle, now that the con is over, my mom is coming in 2 weeks. After that, anytime from here until August, and even August, if you wanted to, I know we talked about you coming out. You come out here, we will show you Television of Terror.
I don't think I can come out. Since your mom was coming, I changed all my plans for the summer because I was so I was gonna come out if Catherine's coming out in November. I was gonna fly out and just hang out with you guys for like 3 days.
So yeah, we'll have to figure something out.
Yeah, I might actually fly in and have you guys pick me up from the airport.
Can do.
All right.
But yeah, Television Terror, that is probably that episode. Now, I would, as a kid, I would stay up late to watch Tales from the Crypt, and then I would immediately go to bed. That was the only episode that not only did I not immediately go to bed, I had to turn all the lights on in the house. And I stayed up for another 2 hours until I could finally wind down. And then I went to bed with the lights still on because it creeped the shit out of me when I was a kid. And that's part of why I love Event Horizon, because it is a haunted house in space, and it is the best kind ever.
There was only a couple of episodes that didn't scare me, but kind of disturbed me. I'm trying to think of the one. I can't remember the name of it, but it was David Warner, Twiggy, the model Twiggy, and Zelda Rubin. And he was the psychiatrist that had his own radio show, and Zelda Rubin would call in all the time and talk about how her daughter was just having horrible temper tantrums, and she couldn't get her to, she couldn't discipline her. So David Warner's character, along with his producer, who was played by Twiggy, show up at this house, and it's with Zelda Rubin, and just weird shit and shenanigans start happening. I don't want to spoil it for anyone because I thought it was one of the best Tales from the Crypt episodes I've ever seen, especially with, you guys know who Zelda Rubin is, right? Okay, the little midget woman in Poltergeist that was, this house is cleared. Yeah, that's Zelda Rubin. And then David Warner, it's, Sark.
Oh, David Warner's amazing.
I fucking love David Warner. When I found out he passed away, I got really upset. Zelda Rubinstein, thank you, Ramen. What was I calling her? Zelda something else.
I know what we're watching tonight.
Anyway,
I have all of Tales from the Crypt, so you just said that, and I'm like, I don't remember what season that is. So I'm like looking it up. It's like, I'm watching this tonight.
It was so good, but it was a little bit on the disturbing side. You're like, ugh. Just like kind of give you the piss willies, and you're like, okay. So, yeah.
I would say the one that really fucked me up, but this is kind of more personal, was seeing the documentary called The Nightmare about sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
And finding out I wasn't the only one seeing this shit. That was freaky, realizing it was an experience that dates back to the earliest days of history and globally.
See, I was actually listening to the podcast Bizarre States, and that's when I found out that was a global phenomenon. I was like, okay, my brain's not totally fucked up. It happens to everyone. Huh. Oh, and by the way, Ramen, guys, and you can laugh at me all you want, Poltergeist is still a movie that, even though I'm 44 years old, fucking scares me. It scares the fuck out of me.
I saw it in the drive-in.
Ugh.
And it was good enough that the girl I was with didn't blow me, so I was kind of disappointed. Because she was talking mad shit when we drove up there. But it was so fucking good. She just sat there holding my hand and then climbed up on my lap and then kept hiding her face. And I was like, it's not that scary.
See, I must have been around 8 years old, maybe younger. And my uncle was the real douchebag one. Took me and a bunch of other kids to see it, telling us we were going to see Star Wars.
Oh, God.
And when the guy started peeling his face off, I snapped, ran to my uncle crying, and he kicked me on the floor and said, "Stop crying, you fucking pussy."
Yep.
So yeah, I get why. Yeah, Poltergeist was kind of one of those movies. That tree, the fucking clown, the
My
maggots.
mom had that paper mache clown, and after we watched that movie, because they didn't think
Fuck
it
that
was going to be
clown.
that bad, because it was, they were like everybody else. They didn't read that Toby Hooper had directed it. They saw produced by Stephen King, and there were kids in it, so they thought it was,
Spielberg.
yeah. And instead, like, I was crying as a kid when we first saw it on HBO, and the next day that paper mache clown was gone.
I did traumatize my daughters, I will admit. My dad had a rule, and I carried it on. My dad always said that if they snuck in and saw any part of the horror movie and they gasped, that they were hiding behind the couch or peeking around the corner, they then had to come in and sit through the entire movie so they can see the end. Because the majority of movies, at the end, Jason takes the axe to the face, Freddy gets put away, the aliens are defeated. So, I made them do that. But when my daughters each turned 12, I sat them down. Well, was it 12 or 13, baby?
It was 12.
12. We sat them down and we said, "We got a movie for you to watch." Okay. And one of the times, my oldest daughter, her best friend's mom sent her daughter over to watch it because the best friend's mom couldn't watch it. We sat them down. We told her, "You're going to watch this movie from beginning to end. It's going to tell you in the beginning it's based on a true story." And this movie is so bad that they couldn't get it to fly with an R rating. They kept getting an X rating, but they didn't want to cut any off. So the guy who made it went to a friend who worked in a movie theater, and they cut the end off of an R-rated movie and glued it to his and shipped it out. So hold on to your panties, and we make them watch it. Last House on the Left.
The original.
The original.
Oh my God, that is such a good film. Disturbing as fuck, but
Well,
man.
Do you know what it does? It makes it so they never trust any of this. I have a friend who can hook us up with pot.
Nice.
Well, the interesting thing is that's a different type of horror because it's almost shot like a documentary at times.
Yeah.
And
I wish they'd edit out the cop part because the cop part is just bullshit slapstick to break the tension until the
Yeah.
very end.
Who is the guy that
cop
played
part?
Krug? Because he also did the
The
music for the
dumbass
movie.
cops that keep getting flats and shit.
And he played some really scary, realistic villains in a lot of grindhouse films.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. It's David something. And he's
But
like he was the nicest dude in real life.
well, the thing about Last House on the Left is one, there are lots of shades of Manson in that.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And second, I mean, unlike say Event Horizon, that's a horror that could really happen to you, which
Yes.
makes it even more screwed up.
Yeah.
What's interesting is it's also kind of a commentary on the failure of the 60s.
Yeah.
And that keeps coming up. And what's interesting is you notice every time it shows the family, there's kind of this kind of almost wholesome Leave It to Beaver music playing in the background. And then whenever they cut to the the girls, it's psychedelic music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I asked my daughter a couple of years back. I'm like, "Hey, you remember I made you watch House on the Left?" And she fucking shuddered. And I'm like, "Did you ever think I was wrong for doing that?" And she goes, "No."
I wish my parents would have showed me that movie when I was younger. I wouldn't have hung out with some of the people I hung out with when I was rebelling.
Wasn't there that girl that got killed in Astoria for the same kind of shit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When my daughter was in high school, this girl went with somebody she knew to buy dope in the nearby city, and they found her in the Columbia River,
Oh God.
raped and strangled.
David A. Hess, that's the name of the actor.
So you know what I want to do sometime? I want to bring Raltz on specifically because you're such a horror aficionado.
I love
And
horror
just
movies.
you go off on best and worst horror films.
Trying to think what's the worst horror movies for me. Well, actually, no. I will say hands down what the worst horror movie is,
What?
and that is It Follows.
The venereal disease ghost.
The venereal disease ghost. It's not scary. Okay, number one, she's a hot chick. She could have passed that shit on in like 5 minutes. Okay, she could have went to the local comic book store, walked up to some dude with bad fucking complexion, and gone, "Hey, how would you like to go out in the alley behind the dumpster and fuck me in the ass?" And she'd have passed that shit on in 15 minutes. You can't tell me it was a struggle for her to get laid. No.
But the horror movie that freaks you out the most?
What?
Not Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin Fever.
Cabin Fever.
Cabin Fever.
God, that scene where he thinks he's finger banging her and he's actually finger banging her rotten wound.
Yeah. Cabin in the Woods. Fuck.
No, Cabin Fever.
Cabin Fever. I was like, the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, oh God. Oh God.
I think
wait, Ramen? Megan
has
is
a
missing
point.
is really fucking bad. I watched that too. It was awful.
Megan is missing. Oh God, that film is awful.
Oh, this film's
That film
so
is so
fucking
bad.
But yeah,
Trying to think of another one. A lot of movies don't scare me. I mean, the Friday the 13th, I always rooted for Jason because fuck those hippies. And
Cabin in the Woods scares me because that's millennials.
Cabin in the Woods. When it gets to the end and it's like, we don't want to sacrifice ourselves for the whole world. Let it burn. You ungrateful pot smoking faggots.
and you were supposed to be rooting for them. That that was honestly the first time that was kind of my awakening to Joss Whedon, and I was like, the fuck?
Why am I supposed to be rooting for these two? Okay,
Yeah,
I
I
want
was
them to
like,
die.
Damn.
The only character I liked in that was the dude who tried to make the jump in the motorcycle.
That was Chris Hemsworth before he
Hemsworth.
was even famous.
Yeah. But he gave it a shot.
Yeah.
And I hated that pot smoking hippie dude. I wanted him to die.
What was the virgin?
You know what else?
Oh, I couldn't stand his character either.
The creatures at the end that are unleashed.
Yeah.
Because they weren't satisfied. That was supposed to be us, the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can believe that.
That was their big statement.
That if we're not satisfied, we'll tear shit up. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, then maybe you ought to cater to us instead of feeding us fucking slop.
Well, it was a good way of showing how Hollywood was starting to behave. Like, fuck the audience. Like, we've got your money. Yeah.
That's why. I finally watched the D&D movie.
Ramen, which Dark Water? Are you talking about the Japanese or the American version?
Halloween Water?
No, Dark Water. Have you ever seen it started out as a Japanese horror film. It's a good psychological horror.
What is?
No,
that movie didn't scare me. That both of those movies just broke my heart. I felt that they were more sad.
What's funny is the movie The Ring. When they filmed The Ring, do you guys remember the carnival scene?
Yes, vaguely, but yes.
Okay, here's what happened. We were living out by where they filmed that. And they made the mistake of putting up an actual carnival, right? But the timing was really unfortunate. They had just gotten it up and they were just going to start filming. They were just going through the rehearsal filming and stuff. And all the fishermen came back and got their money. And first thing the fishermen do is they drive to Astoria to go to the stores and everything. And all these people see this carnival set up and they start pulling in with their kids. And there was literal brawls. I mean, the Hollywood security guys got their guts stomped out. And the sheriff was like, well, number one, you don't have a permit. You have a carnival permit, not a filming permit. So you can either open this carnival or I'm arresting all of you. So all those people you see in the background aren't actors. They're actual people I know. As a matter of fact, I think we're in it.
Will you excuse me for just a second?
My daughter.
I'm going to be right back.
Yeah, my daughter, my oldest daughter's in it running with her friends.
Oh,
but
that's awesome.
Because they were in trouble, and because these fishermen, these guys are like oyster pickers and fishermen, so they're all made of fucking meth and barbed wire, and they're there with their kids, and their kids haven't seen them in like a month, and so it's daddy, I want to go to the carnival, and then here's some Hollywood fucking security thinking he's tough, shoving on these guys. What started the big brawl was one was like, I got a gun. And so the guy took it from him and beat him with his own pistol.
Oh, God.
That's great. The other thing with The Ring is I actually found The Ring enjoyable, but I didn't find it scary.
It wasn't scary. It was interesting. The best part for me was we would drive around and we'd find where the locations were.
We had a friend who, we went over to his house to watch it for a group movie night. And
he hyperventilated.
Yeah, he had a full-blown panic attack while we were watching the film. We actually had to stop it so that he could calm down. And then we had to, we of course, it's movie night. You turn off all the lights. We had to turn all the lights back on. And he immediately moved to the seat that was closest to the door so that if he needed to exit, he could.
There's one aspect of The Ring that they never establish that's in the Japanese version is taken for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And that is that in Japan, psychic photography was a big deal.
Yeah.
So everyone knows the concept of the idea that, oh, the guy puts a piece of film to his head and looks at you and imprints his psychic visions to the film.
Yeah.
And the idea was that Sadako, or Samara, did the same thing to the video cassette. But that was never really communicated in the American one.
Mm-mm.
That's like I met a movie star when I was working at the tavern there. This drunk blonde guy comes in with a couple friends, and he number one, he's drunk, so I don't want to serve him. I'm like, all right, I'll give you 2 beers. Like, better give me what I want. I'm like, don't push me, buddy. And he kept having his friends come up, and one of them comes up and goes, hey, we want more beers. And I was like, your buddy's pissing himself drunk. He's like 2 steps from pissing himself. No. And if you keep raising hell and you keep bugging people, I'm gonna throw your ass out. The guy came up and he's fucking drunk. He's like, you know who I am? I said, yeah, you're the guy I'm about to throw face first out that fucking door. And basically, it ended up with me throwing one of his. It ended up with me accidentally bouncing. Instead of, I missed the door and bounced him off a fucking cinder block wall twice. Ooh. One of his buddies before I threw him face first out the door, and I went, okay, who's next? Get out. And everybody was like, who the fuck was that? Right? And the guy was greasy, unkempt, and you could tell he was trouble the minute he walked in. Well, next day, guy comes in, fairly well put together. He's by himself. He goes, hey, you were on shift last night, right? I was like, yeah. He goes, I owe you a big apology. I was like, why? He goes, well, I was the one that came in drunk with my handlers. I was like, so? And he slides me $100 bill. He goes, I want to apologize for the way I acted. I'm sorry. And I was like, well, who the fuck are you? He goes, you don't know who I am? I said, I don't know who the fuck you are. And I'm kind of getting Woody Harrelson.
Whoa.
Oh, you know what?
Was he method acting?
What?
He's actually a cool dude.
He's actually really cool, but he just got fucking hammered. He went to the dive bar first, but he was cool. His handlers were the assholes because, we're a bunch of hicks and we don't know anything. And I'm like, he was really cool. He had the balls to come in by himself. And he was like, I'm sorry. He was like, I just wanted to have a couple drinks. I'm sorry. He, had a problem. I was like, oh, he goes, he put him in the hospital. I was like, I don't give a fuck. It's not my problem. But he talked to me for a while. He gambled a little bit, had a beer and left. But he was really, but I was like, I didn't even know who he was. He's like, you really didn't recognize me. I'm like, to be honest, you say you're Woody Harrelson. I have no idea who you are. He's like, you don't watch many movies, do you? I go, I watch movies all the time. I don't give a fuck what the actors' names are. You're dancing monkeys. And he actually laughed. He was like, I'll take a beer.
Nice.
Did you know that he and Matthew McConaughey just found out that they're half brothers? Apparently, both their mother was a hoe, and then gave him up. That's what think about it. Go back and watch Matthew McConaughey movies and Woody.
I can totally see it.
Yeah.
Watch their movies. Same mannerisms, same speech. They both are hardcore potheads. In fact, when they found out, they're coming out with a movie together now. They're all fucking excited that they're related to each other.
Yeah, but it's funny because he was really nice, and I will give him one thing: he had the balls to show up by himself.
Yeah.
For him, it was probably like Tuesday, and just like fuck. Yeah, but I was surprised because as far as I'm concerned, most people like that would just blow off what happened and never admit.
Yeah, he didn't have to show up.
No, he didn't. Plus, I didn't know who the fuck he was. But I thought that you really don't know who I am. Well, you don't watch movies. I do. I just don't give a fuck.
He was the only good part of the movie Solo. I watched Solo because I wanted to see, how bad it was. Only part I liked.
I didn't watch Solo because I won't even give them the money they would get from a streaming service.
See, we had the streaming service when it came out, so Steve and I watched the movie, and the movie was fucking horrible, and I wish I hadn't watched it. The only good part of that movie was Woody Harrelson. And it really pissed me off because He finally got to be in a Star Wars movie, and they put him in that.
Did you know the fans of that movie are trying to gin up fucking support for a second one?
No, it's not going to happen. I
want them to. I want Disney to make a second one. I want them to throw more money down into this burning dumpster fire that they turned Star Wars into.
Well, Disney is starting to realize that they have made a terrible mistake with Kathleen Kennedy. And I think we talked about this before. She must have dirt on a shit ton of people because every time she touches something, it goes to shit. I know you guys didn't watch The Mandalorian, but like I said, when we had the stream,
I watched the first season.
We watched The Mandalorian. We watched the first 2 seasons. And then we got rid of the streaming service. We're like, fuck this. We don't want to support Disney anymore. Apparently, Kathleen Kennedy got mad that Jon Favreau was becoming the favored keeper of Star Wars because at least he knew his shit and he did it right.
Yeah. It's like Gina Carrero got fired not because of her political opinions, but because she was a popular female character. Then there was a whole bunch of fucking fan art going around of her pregnant. You know, the character pregnant, and she thought it was funny.
Gina Carano wasn't fired by Jon Favreau. Kathleen Kennedy fired her.
Yes.
Jon Favreau had created 2 fucking shows that would have her in it that were already in pre-production. And Kathleen Kennedy flexed her muscles on Jon Favreau and fired her. And that's why Jon Favreau purposely tanked the 3rd season of The Mandalorian. Kathleen Kennedy was also the one that rolled in. And don't get me wrong, I'm a giant Katie Sackhoff fan. And I was pretty stoked that Bo-Katan came in. But The Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal wasn't even the main character. And they established in the show that Katie Sackhoff's Bo-Katan is the true Mandalorian, not Pedro Pascal.
God.
And that was Kathleen Kennedy. And Jon Favreau purposely killed off his own character that he was playing in The Mandalorian in protest to Kathleen Kennedy. And apparently he has washed his hands of the show and walked away.
You know what tells me about how bad Disney is? They made millions of Rose Tico action figures. And they didn't make a single Baby Yoda product for Christmas.
No, they didn't. They totally missed that boat.
People made so much money on Etsy.
Steve and I were actually looking for Baby Yodas to get nieces and nephews during Christmas, and there was not a fucking thing, and we were shocked.
They didn't make anything till May.
We wanted to get little Christmas ornaments for the kids.
Baby Groot. I mean, think of that.
Yeah.
If it was like an isolated incident of just somebody was asleep at the wheel, it's like, okay, that's a major fuck up, but okay, fine. This was on the heels of no Baby Groot.
Yeah. Well, and then they got really mad over a meme that was going around. It said what Disney thinks women want, and it was, you know, all these female empowerment characters, and then what women really want, Space Baby.
Yeah, Space Baby, exactly.
Fiona, Favreau hasn't. He's not stealing. He's made it quite clear he's been taking from the old EU because it was better stuff.
Yeah, them throwing away the EU was dumb.
Yeah, no, he's made it quite clear that was a stupid mistake, and that's why The Mandalorian did so well the first 2 seasons. It's also the reason the Book of Boba Fett sucked. Kathleen Kennedy, so it was done by Robert Rodriguez, but it was really Kathleen Kennedy yanked the reins from him. And then because she was pissed at Favreau, she took the opening of what was supposed to be the season opener for The Mandalorian, 3rd season, and stuck it into Boba Fett. And that's why Luke and Ahsoka and The Mandalorian and Grogu show up randomly in the middle of the Book of Boba Fett season. That has nothing to do with the fucking show. That was her way of being like, I rule Star Wars. I'm taking your opening show and putting it into the Book of Boba Fett. So yeah, Kathleen Kennedy, she must hate George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. Like,
she
must despise
them.
them.
She has Epstein dirt on just about everyone, apparently.
Yeah, she's fucking evil.
Well, the funny thing is Disney has been pulling some shit. You know, we're all writers. Did you hear what Disney did with God, I can't remember his name, but if there's a novelization of a movie in the late 70s and mid 80s, this guy wrote it. He wrote A Splinter in Mind's Eye. He did the Star Wars
Oh,
novelization.
Alan Dean Foster.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alan Dean Foster. Disney tried to tell Alan Dean Foster, no, see, we didn't buy the debts. We bought the intellectual properties. We don't have to pay you for your books.
Whoa.
No.
No.
And Alan Dean Foster was like, that's not how this works. And they're like, we're Disney. What are you going to do? And he went, well, I'm Alan Dean Foster, and I've got fuck you money.
Yep.
And he took him to court, and Disney lost.
There you go.
No, by the way, I agree with you. Kelly Marie Tran is the fallout of what Kathleen Kennedy did to Star Wars. That poor
That
girl's
poor
career
woman. She
got
didn't deserve any of
ruined.
that shit.
She is pretty too.
She's
Yeah.
beautiful, and oh my gosh, she's got a nice set of tits and a tiny waist.
Yeah.
And when they put her in the fat suit,
Yeah.
it was shocking to see, because she was, I don't know if you guys knew this, but when she was cast as what's her name, Rose Tico, she came to Comic-Con in a Porg outfit, just completely anonymous, and she was excited. It was her first con. Nobody knew who she was.
And everybody hated her.
Yeah, but I felt bad because she was so excited, and her career was killed on arrival by that fucking movie, and that sucks because we didn't get to see how, like, how she could flex her acting chops, and they destroyed her.
It was the dumbest. She was a victim of the dumbest script writing I'd ever seen.
Yeah, fuck Ryan Johnson.
Which was when she fucking rams her ship into the other guy's ship to deny him his moment. And it's like, how did you know that wouldn't kill you both?
Oh, not only to just take away his moment, but he was gonna save everyone.
Yeah.
But no, she was selfish and did it for love. I thought it was great that her and what's his name, John Boyega, thought that was the stupidest thing, and so they wrote that out in the third movie like it didn't happen.
Yeah. And it was just terrible. And what really got me is they just started ignoring, I can wave my hand at physics, okay? I have no room to talk about physics. But I'm sorry, if you crash something going that fast into something else going that fast, you're gonna die. It's like when she jumps up and cuts the wing off of Darth Emo's TIE fighter, and it tumbles across the desert, and he pops out of it like a jack-in-the-box. It's like, how are you not dead?
Ryan Johnson obviously didn't know shit about Star Wars. If they would have at least kept J.J. Abrams, who, look, I'm not a fan, it would have at least been something.
It would have been coherent.
Yes.
Johnson went in with the intent of pissing on it.
Oh, yeah, he even said that. He said that he thought Star Wars was a misogynistic, patriarchal piece of shit, and he went in to, subvert expectations of a typical sci-fi movie. No, you just fucked an entire series. Thanks, man.
Well, that's what got me is we don't know which way is up. What? Well, the starships can't find the direction up. What? How? What? I see that part, and they're like, well, we have to have the beacon to know how to go up. It's like,
that's not how that works.
It's like, drop a coffee cup and go the opposite direction. I mean, and then they're riding horses across the hall. What do we do?
Oh my God.
Turn right. Just do a right turn real good. Just heel it over to the right. Oh, honestly, look, they fell off.
I think at that point, J.J. Abrams gave up and just decided to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, in the movie.
It's like, why are you riding horses on a starship? This.
The way you said that, it just flashed on why does God need a starship?
Yeah. I mean, my brain went dial tone more times. It was like, it's like, Rey shows up and lifts her hand and lifts, I don't know, 300 metric tons worth of rock like it's nothing. And I'm like, Luke had trouble lifting a fucking lightsaber.
Oh,
I mean, sure, Yoda could lift an X-Wing, but, Yoda.
Did you like the excuse that they gave for why Rey was just as powerful as Luke now and Yoda? That
she's all the Jedi.
When she was interrogated by Kylo Ren, her powers kicked in and she downloaded all of the knowledge of the Jedi while she was being interrogated, and that's why she's the best.
That doesn't make
She's
any
the
sense.
bestest. I fucking
No,
hate
that
Close-
doesn't make any
Close
sense.
the door and tighten my restraints.
I just like fuck, dude. And I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those people that was absolutely friggin' overjoyed when they
Oh,
announced
so was
the
I.
sequels. And I really liked that first trailer. And speaking of first trailer and seeing John Boyega, that is another man. That man was a victim as well. They fucked him over hard. When they came out and said that he was supposed to be training alongside Rey, that they were both Jedi, or they were supposed to be Jedi, but they decided to listen to China. And so they basically relegated him to dumbass sidekick.
You know, I made a mistake that I am still paying for to this fucking day. I took my wife for our anniversary to see the Force Awakens.
Oh,
I'm lucky that she didn't make me walk home.
wow.
She literally leaned over to me during it and goes, "I don't give a fuck about any of this. I'm staying for you." And I was like, "It'll get better. It'll get better. It'll get better." It didn't get better, and now I'm in trouble.
Dude, you know what? Steve and I, when we went and saw that movie, we were both like, okay, when's it gonna, when's the big awesome Star Wars stuff gonna happen?
Yeah.
By the time that we got to the scene where Han Solo calls out his son, I just turned to Steve. I was like, I called it. I knew they were gonna kill him. This movie sucks.
Yep.
Fuck it. And then a fucking planet called the Star Killer Base. So basically,
Yeah.
have a planet-sized Death Star. Are you
What's the point?
fucking kidding me?
See, I play fast and loose with physics. You know, I have nova bombs and stellar compressors and corona compressors and stuff like that. But they're talking about, okay, follow me here. You've got this weapon, and it drains away all the mass of a star in like 30 minutes, which, how?
Yeah.
It away 30 minutes. People don't realize that matter is so compressed inside of a star that it takes light, like, I think a week to get out or longer, because it's that compressed, because light literally can't move. And here's the thing. They're like, oh, you use it to charge up the lasers and destroy the planets in the solar system. It's like, well, wait a minute. You just sucked up their sun. They're fucked.
What's the point of blowing up planets?
Yeah.
Seriously.
What's the point? I mean, what do you gain territory? You lose the resources. You lose. It's like the Death Star wasn't meant to be used every time somebody fucking held up a picture of the Emperor naked. I mean, it was supposed to cause fear.
I mean, at least the Genesis torpedo actually terraformed the planet.
Anybody read the Timothy Zahn books of the
Heirs to the
where
Empire?
the Death Star project was put into operation, and Tarkin was put in control of that project, and he's like scoffing because of like the other super weapon project that was put into operation, which was basically a bunch of battleships that would that were networked with a computer and would go cloak. And he's like, oh, that's stupid. People don't fear that. People fear giant deadly weapons and stuff like that. Anybody read that?
Is that
No.
the one where you find out that he actually had his secret lover, Admiral Dalla, where
Nope.
or that was the Sun Crusher program, right?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
something else. No, this was the history of Tarkin and how Tarkin got onto the Death Star base. And that was hilarious because his idea was this grandiose, big, gigantic Tsar Bomba that all of the empire would tremble in fear at the mere thought of this thing coming near them. And the other project that the emperor was funding, which he of course thought was stupid, was this idea of a bunch of smaller, it was actually a dreadnought classes. Those who have read the books know that it's the Dark Force that I'm talking about, that are all networked by an AI, and they can cloak. And it's like, I'm more scared about that.
The Saki just hit me like a ton of bricks, so I'm gonna go lay down.
Oh, okay.
Hey, get
But
some
we
rest,
should
man.
call it a night because I
night,
still
Yeah.
do have to take my kid to
Oh,
school in the
we've
morning.
been on for like 2.5 hours.
Oh
So
shit.
yeah.
Okay,
Oh
yeah.
shit! No wonder.
All right. So
Okay.
I guess I will talk to everybody Saturday.
Definitely.
All right. Good night,
Okay.
everyone.
Good night,
Good
everyone.
night, everyone. Thank you.
Yep. Bye.